Well, go on, everybody. Lennox here from Simple123 Trader. This is the weekly playbook outlook for the week of May 2nd to the 7th. Hope everybody is doing well and are safe. To tonight's weekly outlook, I'm going to look at the major pairs. However, first for the members, I'm going to take a look at the EA, the Auto 123 EA, and some of the questions that have been fielded today in the lounge, and lots of questions about a variety of things. So I'm just going to touch on a few of those to help members along. Um, okay, the first thing we had an update today. So when you get an update, you have to, of course, put the EA into your folder, and then you have to restart the platform. What often happens once you restart the platform, first of all, if you had any active trades, the next time, and we should make this clear, before you restart the platform, um, click on the EA on the particular chart and make sure you take a note of the magic number. So in this case, I've got this 10, 50, 2000. And we use this number because the one signifies the year, the 05 is the month, and then 02 is the day today. And the 000 it can be anything. So I start off with 00, and so my next chart will have 001. So for example, I have another chart that is US dollar index. If I click on that one, it's 001. Okay, so we keep the first 5 digits the same, and then the last three can be one up to 100 different charts. So just want to have the unique number. I just keep it uh, by one. So the key is to know that if the US dollar index, if I was playing that chart and I was in an active trade and I was restarting the platform, or the computer went down for any reason or whatever, you make sure you know what the magic number is, so that when you do put the auto 123 back on, you'll keep that same magic number. Because if you're in a trade, the trade is looking at the magic number in order to say, if that magic number matches, then I'm going to execute, an order to exit the trade, and so on. If it doesn't match, it won't do anything. So you'll have to manually do that. So the whole objective of the Auto 123, of course, is to leave the manual portion out of it. All right, so that's a critical thing. So again, if anytime your system goes down or you have to restart it, or we have a new update and so forth, before you restart your system, make sure you check that you're not in any active trades. If you are in an active trade, jot down the magic number for that particular pair, and make sure that when you do put the Auto 123 back on, that pair has the same magic number. Okay, so that's as simple as I can make it. I hope that's understandable for everyone. Okay, the other thing is I had a lot of questions about um, entries and stops and so forth. So let me just explain. If we have a 1, 2, 3, so I'm just going to use, uh, there's our 1, 2, 3, in this case on this chart. So we get a 1, 2, 3. So we're going to get limit orders for the conservative entry. We're going to get a limit order of 55%. We're also going to get a buy stop order at number 2 point. So the buy stop order and the limit order, we're trying to get in, of course, at the best price, but it's all dictated by the broker, and they won't allow prices um, if a certain distance isn't being met by your stop and even your take profit. So if we have a take profit for the 55% entry uh, here, and we're looking at a take profit we don't have a take profit for our buy stop order, of course, because it's going to use the cross over here for our take profit. So if we do not have the right amount of space, distance between our entry and our stop, which would be here for the buy stop, then this can fluctuate. This can be here, this can be here, and so on. So it's not going to be exactly, 2 pips above the number 2 point and so forth. It's going to be a variable number. It's going to be a variable price entry. So you have to be aware of that. For a limit order of 55%, we're looking at the stops being below the number 1 point, and that's as simple as that. And again, this distance also has to be in line with what the broker requires. Entry and stops and targets must vary in order to make that order go in. So this entry here might not be exactly at the price we want. It can be a little higher, it could be a little lower depending. So that's the variable differences here with price entry. Okay, so another thing that came up was about multiple orders are being entered and so forth. We've looked at that and we thought we have eradicated that, but we'll watch this closely this week to see if that is a consistent thing or if it's just a one-off. But we're going to double check, of course, on that's why we want to have everyone give their report at the end of the week, just to kind of see how the trades are going and if we can rectify any of these anomalies and so forth. Okay, so in order to do that, again, it's quite straightforward. You just go to your history tab, account history tab, which is down here at the bottom of the screen where my mouse is. So I'm just going to make this a little bigger so that we can see it. And so go like that, and then put it at account history. And you go into account history and you just right click anywhere and make sure that comments is selected and then save as detailed report. So when you do a save as detailed report, it's going to ask you where do you want to put it, and you can then choose. So I put it into my history folder, and you can put it anywhere you want. It's called detailed statement. You can call it anything you want. You can say auto 123 for the week of whatever, week of 2nd to the 7th or whatever you want to call it, and that's it. And once you do that, it will automatically open it up. You want to do the detailed one, it'll automatically open it into the browser, and from the browser you can then capture that and send that to us. Okay, so that's as straightforward as that is. Okay. The other key thing here is we want you to let the auto 123 do its thing. So if it's in a trade, we want you to leave it alone. Do not mess with it. Don't stop it. Don't get out. Don't panic. This is what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to take you to your targets without interference. So this is where you all need to acquire this patience and some faith and belief in the 123 system, and that it will take you to your targets. So in this case with this 123, you can see because it's a beautiful played 123, formed 123, it made it beautifully to the targets, no problem at all. And now we know that any of these targets would have been hit. We're up at resistance, and so the next stage, if we had been in a buy stop order, this would automatically be taken out when the price starts to come back down and we get that death cross. So it is going to work. It's just a matter of you having faith in that it's going to occur that way. Okay, so you can see it did it over here. We had a 1, 2, 3, and it came all the way down and had to cross again in order to form another 1, 2, 3 the opposite direction. And that's just how this goes. It always does that. So just be confident and just let it be. Just let things be. Okay, so those are a few of the things I wanted to touch on. I just hope everybody has a profitable week, and we'll see how the results play out. On Wednesday, we'll go over this in more depth, and I hope that everyone can attend and we can hash out things and talk about any issues or feedback at all that you might have at that time. All right, so that's a look. I really wanted to kind of go over that and give you a good explanation of what's going on. All right, and I just got home and looking at my system. I've got system running with USD Swiss. I don't have USD Swiss. This is my live account here. I don't have USD Swiss as one of them, but I have on another system. I have USD Swiss doing quite well, up 80 pips. I have silver up like almost 3,000 pips right now. And let's see what else. I've got another USD Swiss up 80 pips as well. Let me see if that's the same one. Must be the same one. Okay, I've got Euro US dollar, which didn't fire on here. So this one is from last week, still in it, 92 pips up on that one. But on mine here, it's taken me out because I was in this going down, so it crossed and it's taken me out now. So that's okay, and that's what you want. You want it to get in up at the highs and get out down at the cross. And in the other broker, it didn't do that. There's no cross, so it didn't take me out, and that's just the way it is. Each broker is different, and that's the way it is. All right, so that's a look at that. So let me just quickly, what I really wanted to do, of course, was to go through, each pair and give you an idea of what's setting up for the week. So I'll just do the majors really quickly, and I'm just going to go to the daily, and we're just going to look forward through to the rest of the week, and I'll just give you a quick synopsis. So what I'm seeing here is we need a continuation here for Australian dollar, so it looks like we should have some strength in Aussie in the long term, but right now in the short term it might be a little bit weak, but we're going to have some strength later on. So of course, all the major pairs depend on the US dollar. So let me take a look at the US dollar first before I even go any further. So US dollar is the key, of course. So we had quite the run down with the US dollar, and now we're getting this big, huge bounce. So is this bounce going to continue? We know that it doesn't continue because it's going to form a 1, 2, 3. So at this level on the daily, it has reached resistance, and we should get a pullback, and then we'll get a go. Okay, so that's the kind of setup. That's definitely looking like it's going to play out. So 4 hour, you can see that's what it's doing. So it's 1, 2. So we could be in here for a little bit. We can go a little higher, and then we'll get this pullback. So short-term strength in the US dollar. So if we're getting short-term strength in the US dollar, then we can look at Aussie short-term. I look at the 4 hour weakness, right? So that's what we would expect, weakness in the short term to the downside. Okay, so it's just going to do the opposite. Same thing with the euro. The euro will be short-term weak, and that's what's happening. We got a 1, 2, 3 top. So euro is still got moves to downside to come. Okay, so we're going to come back down to that area more than likely. The Swiss franc should be going to the upside. Okay, but you can see it's not. It's just kind of hanging there right now, but it should turn to the upside, going with the US dollar more than likely, right? Okay, so that's a look at that. The Japanese yen, or yeah, Japanese yen. Let's stick with the majors. Japanese yen has had quite the fall, and you can see the structure. So looking like it's getting ready to turn around. So Japanese yen might be a good catalyst going into this week to look at, because it's going to have some strength, and then we want to look at anything against it. Okay, so that's the kind of thing. The New Zealand dollar will be similar to the Aussie. Okay, and you can see that's exactly what it is. So we come to this level, and we should do this kind of thing and down again. Or of course, it could go higher and then down, but either way, it's going to do something like that. Okay, the next one would be the Mexican peso, the British pound. British pound should be heading down as well, and it is. And you can see had a 123 top, and then we dropped to this level. So we are again, we're going to do something like this and then drop. Okay, so same type of play out. A strong U.S. dollar will make these all week. Um, so for and that's that's it for the majors, right? All these majors you can look at and you can see that U.S. dollar strength in the short term at least will be weakness in most of these, except of course if they're with the U.S. dollar, like the Japanese yen will turn to the opposite way because of course it's in line with the U.S. dollar. All right, so that's a look at what's setting up for the week. We can get into this a little as the week goes along a bit more, but profitable trading to everyone. All right, and keep your questions and so forth coming into the lounge and to info@forexmentor.com, and be safe. I'm done now. Thank you.